I also want to mention Cherrie Moraga, who lives in the Bay Area and has an appointment at Stanford University. Her work has been preoccupied with the relation between feminism and women of color. She is a lesbian, and themes of the empowerment of women unfold in relation to the empowerment of homosexuality, but the liberation or greater freedom gained by homosexual and women, in her mind, operates in relation to the creation of more just conditions of life and work for people of color. But she is aware that the struggle for racial and economic justice for distressed persons within our society has often subordinated or ignored the aspiration for better opportunities and a more just world for women and homosexuals. That often racial justice sectors of society pursue racial justice or ethnic justice or economic justice for poor or deprived persons, independently of the search for achievement of sexual equality. Moraga is interested in showing how you can't really achieve one without the other, and her work in the theater has concentrated on exploring the dramatic circumstances under which the fulfillment of a repressed female identity takes place as a result of understanding better how the assertion of the expression of power in our society works toward marginalizing identities that are in some way a threat or will undermine the stability of easily categorized identities. Heterosexual, Chicano or Cuban American or white or whatnot. She, having a mixed background, sees how identity is marginalized or suppressed as a result of it not fitting into a category that is convenient for others to assert their own identity or the stability or purity of their identity. And she regards sexual identity as always a power or a force within people that, if given clarity of expression, leads to upsetting or undermining the conventions, the moral codes, the authority of prejudices and biases within our society. So she's unique in that respect, insofar as she more so perhaps than Maria Irene Fornes, she shows how sexual preference or sexual orientation carries within it some kind of revolutionary or at least subversive power to create a more just society. All of these writers that I've mentioned, except Luis Valdés, have written in English. That is their major language, and only Valdés occasionally writes in Spanish, and perhaps less so now than earlier in his career when he was on the backs of the trucks and was speaking directly to the farm workers, and often those who represent some sector of Hispanic culture prefer to write in English as a way of representing that sector. John Jesurun is perhaps the most dramatic example of a Hispanic writer who has moved away from specific representation of the heritage from which he is descended. His plays have not shown any deep interest in Hispanic themes. Rather, his focus is on the relationship of live performance to mediated performance. And his plays have been innovative in their use of video technology and digital media, and the interaction between live performance and pre-recorded performance. Whitewater is perhaps his most famous play from 1985, and it's an astonishing work in making use of this interaction between live performance and mediated performance. The play uses 4 screens. It's kind of set up like a boxing ring with TV monitors in each corner of the ring, and in the middle of the space the live unfolds, largely as a set of interviews with persons, either in the live performers interviewing live performers, or live performers being interviewed by pre-recorded figures, or pre-recorded figures interviewing pre-recorded persons. So it's a complicated arrangement of performances that occurs in Whitewater. And the play is largely just a set of interviews moving toward some kind of culminating understanding of what happened in the Whitewater. The television crew wants to confirm the existence of this miraculous apparition. This goddess appears on the water to this cult, this group of people, and they report what they have seen, apparently somewhere in New Mexico in the Southwest, and have gathered people at the water to witness the appearance of the goddess. And those who have joined them have said, yes, they have seen the goddess. The TV crew says, we want to see the goddess too, and record the goddess. We want this on film or tape, or I guess it would be tape back in those days, in the 1980s. So this miraculous apparition that has created this cult that believes in this goddess and the formation of a new church, religion built around this female figure who the people have seen. So the TV company begins interviewing persons who have experienced seeing the goddess, and they have set up cameras at the Whitewater to record the appearance of the goddess, which they have not been able to do. And they persist in their efforts to understand this phenomenon after people have said they have seen the goddess when the cameras were there, but the camera didn't see the goddess. So what is real? What have people seen? And the interviews are fascinating insofar as they show the extent to which people believe in things that cannot be confirmed by knowledge. Or they don't believe. They claim to have seen things, and then when the TV people say we have no documentation of it, they repudiate the goddess. So there are different persons responding to the phenomenon that the TV people are seeking to capture. And the TV people are never able to confirm the presence or existence of this goddess. They don't get any images of the goddess recorded. And what they have instead are these interviews about the way in which people define reality according to what they want to believe or what they want to see or have failed to see and cannot believe in it. On page 139, a very interesting interview takes place. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this because part of the dialogue is pre-recorded while the other part is live. That is, the person live is responding to pre-recorded questions and statements. But I'm just going to read it to give a flavor of it. This is where Mac and Doc are in the middle of the so to speak, and Kirsten and Cortez are the pre-recorded voices. So Cortez begins with the word no on the screen, and Mac says, "Sit on that bench and shut up. Sit on that bench and shut up, I said." Kirsten, "What's that on there?" "What?" says Doc. "That faint stain. Blood." "From what?" says Doc. "I don't know," says Mac. Kirsten, "Shall we wash it?" "No, I like it. If it's there, it belongs there permanently. Forever." "Was it real?" says Kirsten on the screen. "Was it real what you saw?" This is pre-recorded, this question. And it's live, the answer, Mac. "I don't mean it wasn't real. It was real." Cortez, on the screen, pre-recorded. "What was real?" Mac, "That lady in the ball." That's the goddess in the ball. Great sphere. "And why is she doing this?" asked Cortez, pre-recorded. "I don't know." "Didn't she tell you?" "No." "Didn't she say she wanted a church?" "I never saw anything." "Didn't she say to call a priest?" "I never saw anything." "Didn't she tell you to pray?" "Drink the water," says Kristen. "These thorns are killing me," says Mac. "Drink the water." Mac, "That's not water. You're trying to tempt me with alcohol." Cortez, "Do you have anything to confess?" "I have nothing to confess," says Mac. "Everything you've seen is true." "Everything I've seen is true." These are pre-recorded statements, remember. Mac says, "Except that it's not really true. I never saw it. That's all I have to say." Or I thought I saw it, and the more I was asked, the more I saw it, but now I don't see anything. I never saw anything. Drink the water, says Kirsten. Max says, what's in this? You're poisoning me. I know it. Get out of here. No one leaves this room. Who was it who's trying to poison me? Court says, put the knife down. Put it down. Max, there's something in here, I know it. You're poisoning me. Shall we pray? So there's a very interesting dialogue there involving pre-recorded questions and live responses to the pre-recorded questions, creating this atmosphere, you might say, in which Mac, not unreasonably, becomes paranoid and cannot really be clear in his mind about the extent to which the inquiry about the goddess is in his mind or outside of it, when the questions are pre-recorded and everything is mediated in terms of identifying his responses to the. In a sense, Jesurun shows through this play that nothing can be considered real unless it can be recorded on video. If you cannot record it on video, it doesn't exist. And if it exists and cannot be recorded, then it's only a matter of belief in the existence of something that cannot be confirmed. Jesurun is not focused so much on the nature of religious belief or faith, but on the power of technology to determine what reality is. And the interaction between video technology and live performance is a powerful way to dramatize his insight into the nature of reality. The play seems to reach the conclusion that only mediated action is real. Only that action. Things have a reality, voices, actions, performance has reality to the extent that it's mediated, turned into an image, digital, whatever, but technology is the video technology is a way to clarify the reality of any situation or condition. And think about that. Theater is ephemeral. What we see on the stage is not all that clear to us. How do we remember actions that occurred on the stage? What do we remember? And whatever we remember is someone else remembers differently. And such as this situation in real life. You have a conversation with somebody in a room, at a table, on a bus, or whatever. How real is it in the end when all you have are the memory of it? All you have is a memory of it, and that memory is selective and filters out what you don't want of that interaction. And I believe that's the key. That's what makes Whitewater such an extraordinary work, insofar as the play persuasively dramatizes the extent to which nothing Whitewater persuasively dramatizes the idea that reality is always strongest or most powerful when it's mediated, and we don't ascribe anything, we don't say anything is real unless we're able to document it through technology. As seems evident when people nowadays take so many pictures of everything they do and post them on Facebook or share them through digital media, and it's as if through digital media, through texting and images, that we affirm our identity most clearly and strongly than any other way. And that the technologies that we now employ in performance involving digital media and video are the foundation by which we establish the reality of our identities. And in that respect, Jesurun, in this play that has made him famous, has delivered, you might say, a very haunting and impressive understanding of reality which did not exist back in the 1960s or previously. It's a notion of reality that has emerged with the rise of digital technologies, image technologies, in which we have greater faith in establishing the reality of our identity and lives than in any other system